This is a continuation of the previous video that I made, and it is about time wasting. Nothing is more of a sin. Nothing. All I see time wasting is, and this is exactly what it is, a waste of life force, which could be shortened to a waste of life. And both would be correct. It is a waste of life, isn't it? If you don't think it is, well, then that's all right. We can disagree on things. That's fine. La, 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 la. But I think that it is. Because if you are doing nothing in that time period, just know this. Every life experience that you are having, even if it's sitting down, staring into a camera, as I've been doing for the last 4 years straight, and now I'm starting to question my own life decisions, so I better suck my way out of that by slightly moving my head back a little bit. That actually strangely did help. Anything that you are doing, you are learning something from it. Now, this is what really scares me, because it was another little epiphany that I had from partying down. Someone in said party was saying, "Wow, you worked so hard today." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And they said, "Well, think about it. You did your stand-up show, now you're doing a podcast, then you just did another podcast." And in my mind, I was thinking, this isn't working hard. And the reason I was thinking this isn't working hard is because at that exact moment, I didn't have a microphone in front of me. What a weird world, eh? God. That was an epiphany of just how hard I worked to get there, to be in the position where I can constantly just be walking around my entire life being like, "Duh," and there'll be 10,000 people listening. Anything. This right now. This is all this is. Anything. And there will be thousands, minimum, of people listening. People will be paying good money to go and see it. But the reason that I got there is because I just refused to waste time. I basically just kept practicing until there was an audience there, just doing that over and over again until there was an audience that was willing to pay for it. It was a long road, but that's what happens when you don't waste time. I am not one of these people, because this is one of the big key traits that you learn over and over again in self-help. It's to be humble. And as we all know, I'm the humblest human being on planet Earth, aren't I? Just, not much footage at all of my face on the internet. And but one thing that I do ascribe to is anyone who ever says something like that, for instance, right? You worked hard enough today. Oh, I use my time really well. I've got a great balance. Something like that. Pure arrogance. And they don't. They're just lying to themselves. They think they do because they can't compare it to anything else except for maybe their social circle. And in their social circle, they're probably right. This is something that really scared me, for instance, right? You always have to use body examples because it's just more physical and you can see it. And that's the only reason that I'm using it. It's also because I'm lazy. But in a video about time management, if you see a fatty, just know that it is harder for that fatty to get to base level than it is for someone who's a little skinny ass like you to build muscle. It's harder. It's also just retraining all of their habits and all of their instant little instincts. They've got to get those out of the way as well. So that's a huge amount of mental exertion to get that out first. There has to be great motivation for them to stop on that process, which is exactly what I'm talking about with the whole thing of time wasting. Whatever you're doing, you're learning, and whatever you're learning, that becomes your life experience. And that's the thing that just, like most of your thoughts in a day is just like, this happened before and that kept you alive, so keep doing that. That's really what that boils down to. And so that person is going to find it really hard to find the motivation to not get fat. They're going to find it really hard to change all of their little instincts first off. And then on top of that, just burning the fat. Burning the fat takes huge physical energy. It is a long process to get from there to there. Now, obviously, there's all these dietitian whizzes that know how to burn it, and I'm not going to go into that, but they will all agree with me on that one basic principle, that if you are starting from nothing and then building up, it's a lot easier. I'll tell you what the easiest thing to do is to just maintain muscle. Once you have muscle, it becomes as easy. And the main reason for that is, apart from, the physiological reasons, the habits are there. It's harder for you to break it. You feel worse when you aren't doing it. But the same thing applies to time wasting. People that waste time, it's a scary concept to me. And I was talking to Miss about it, and I hope that he forgives me for bringing this up. Sorry, buddy. Especially when he clips a lot of this for TikTok. But he was saying that you were always saying to me that I waste too much time. And I said, yes, that's true. And then he was always looking at me and thinking, damn, that guy's a freak at how much he does. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how can I not waste as much time as I'm wasting? This is really weird, because while I'm like, this is what people will actually see when they see someone coming into their house. It's insane. I have become one of those insane people. I don't know, I just didn't like how that sentence was going. It was too Hollywood, plastic, fantastic. I'm just like one of those people now. But this is a common sight that they'll see if you enter my room. I will be in my underpants. I will have rice covered all over my face. And then I'll just be sitting there doing women's aerobics while they speak to me. So I can just be like, yeah, okay, so I've oxygenated my body. I've put that all on my face. So I'm not actually technically wasting time while I'm just greeting this person as they enter the door. Just that 10 minutes that you have to get someone to feel comfortable before you go, now get to work. That's the level I'm at, and I'm always thinking I'm not spending enough time doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. That's the mindset that I want for you, by the way. I want you to move into that mindset. I want you to be constantly thinking of, how do I multitask? How do I get away from my shitty habits? Beautiful track to be on. But anyway, he was there and he was saying, I've actually gotten a lot better. And so obviously, from my level, I'm looking at him and thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? But then I went and looked at the people that he's been hanging out with for the last 10 years. Yeah, he's so much better than them. But the problem is, he started from a place of being fat. It is so hard to move from fat to baseline. Fortunately for me, just by pure dumb luck, because of that Tony Robbins book, I was a little bit fat, but I burned that off pretty quickly. And then for the last 10 years, it's just been muscle, just building on muscle. Do you see? Now, this isn't to discourage you to say that if you've been wasting time for the last 10 years of your life, that you shouldn't be doing this. But it is to say, you've got to start now. Just know that you are at a handicap. And it's a scary handicap to be at. Because the whole thing is, whatever you are doing, you are getting better at. So if you are trying to constantly be thinking about, how do I save time? How do I be more efficient with my time? It does something to your brain. It does something to mine. I feel this constant guilt of, I don't know, this is the other thing as well. Time, I have a different concept to you people. I'm not one of those people that's just like, but we scheduled this. It's more just a thing of, am I doing something of importance right now? And if I'm not doing something of importance, like if I'm not filming, if I'm not editing, if I'm not writing, if I'm not reading, I feel like I'm wasting time. That's what I want for you. I want you to get to that phase, because then that's when you obviously realize that you have very little time to spare. It's a trippy realization. It is. But I think that success, and I know that we've been talking about how subjective it is, but your vague idea of what that is, you are not going to get there, sorry, unless there's something in the back of your mind just being like, you should be doing something else. So make sure that you're doing that other thing. All right, anyway, if you liked that, make sure that you sign up to the Jordan Shanks channel. As I said in the previous video, I got a letter today of a guy that started with nothing, was a bum, now runs a company that will have a $3 million turnover this year, purely for the information that was on this channel. That's where he got the source from. That's where you should get it from, at Jordan Shanks. Sign up today. You will not regret it. You won't regret it. There's one thing that I will bottom line guarantee to you if you get onto that. your life will definitely improve. How many other people can say that about the product that they're selling? Nobody. No product that you are actually buying is actually going to improve your life like that. Except for maybe, food or something. But that's how vital I am. I'm like oxygen, baby. Breathe me in. And I'll see you next show.